short but sweet.
What is going on, clan? I have another trophy guide here for you today. Now this will cover the majority of the trophies, including all of the collectibles as well as some miscellaneous trophies also. Now before going any further, I do want to mention that there is a speedrunning trophy for doing the game in under 30 minutes, and it is quite strict. I will have a video in the description below, and that way you can use it as a reference to hopefully make that a bit easier. Some tips I'll give you as well is to raise the sensitivity and basically just try to do certain tricks you see throughout the video to make it that much easier. Now shout out to PianoKeyboard for answering a lot of my questions and honestly just helping me out. He also helped me with a lot of the trophies that I was a bit confused on and what they actually required to do, and that's made this guide possible. So without further ado, we'll jump right into it. But if you are new around here, alright guys, and momentarily we're going to jump into the collectibles, and some of the collectibles are fire alarms and extinguishers. Now they're actually not in the guide, and the reason being is I just wasn't really able to put them in very smoothly, and it felt like it would just drag the video out. I will say that honestly they're not really hard to find. You just want to check every single hallway. Anytime you go out of a door, you just want to check directly behind you that there's no extinguisher or fire alarm. And even with the chapter select, it tells you what collectible you're missing. So with the fire alarms and the extinguishers, I don't really think a guide would be useful for that. But what I will say is on the chapter 7, the labyrinth, I was missing a fire alarm, and this is again thanks to PianoKeyboard, who easily directed me right to it. It's actually down at the bottom of the door. This was the only one I was missing by just looking around. So hopefully that helps you guys. Again, as you're going through the collectibles, just activate all of the fire extinguishers by emptying them completely, and then also all the fire alarms. Now we're going to be in chapter 1. This is a soda trophy that you can go for just while you play the game, and you have to basically get each type of soda. So as you go through the game, each time you go to a new machine, make sure you choose a new flavor, because you can only see so many machines throughout the game. Now directly outside of that soda machine area is our first collectible. It's a chess piece, and it's on top of this ledge here. So use the planks in the block to make a bridge up to the top, and then grab the chess piece. After that, when you make it to the end of the first chapter, you will see this piece of cheese. You need to make it big enough to go over the pit. However, mine didn't quite work how I wanted it, and it launched me through the map. But I still did go over the pit. As you can see, the pit's right below me. So you just want to make that cheese big enough to cross this gap, and then you can see this fake exit. And then this is actually where we're going to find our first blueprint. So there's only 2 collectibles in chapter 1. So again, I will say the cheese is a bit hard to get directly how you need it, but just keep at it. Now this is just some trophies I threw in here with the collectibles. If you quickly spam the button, you'll actually get 2 cans of soda. You can put one in the trash can right next to it, and then you can take the other one and put it in the recycle bin towards the back of the room. That's 2 trophies. Now go ahead and pick the can back out of the recycling bin and make your way down the fancy hallway here, and then go to your right. You're going to find a rubbish bin here that you can chuck that in, and then you'll get another trophy. So that's 3 easy trophies you can knock out at the beginning of chapter 2. Next, we'll still be in chapter 2. This is our first collectible, and it's where you make the exit sign big enough to jump over the square room wall. And on the back side of this wall is actually a blueprint. So that'll be our first collectible of chapter 2. A little bit later, you'll come to this door where it has the exit sign, and then you'll go to a room that has a yellow staircase. Now we want to go under the yellow staircase because we're going to find our first constellation. Make your way to the end of the hallway and then make a right. The first constellation is a table, so you want to just line this up, and it may take you a little bit, but line that up until you get the table and then interact with it. Okay, so immediately after this constellation, we'll go back to the room with the yellow staircase that we were in. And on the top of it is actually where we want to take that exit sign up to. Because we're going to make a ramp onto this wooden platform to grab another chess piece. So this is just on top of the yellow staircase, and you want to find the exit sign to use as a ramp. Now further in the level, you'll find this block and this chess piece. And if you use them to climb up like I just did onto the ventilation shaft, then you can make your way all the way to the back of it and find a chess piece. Now don't leave this area just yet, because there's a little hidden trophy we can quickly grab. So again, I have some miscellaneous trophies throughout the collectible guide, and they're conveniently placed. And also some of these areas that we're going for the extra trophy do have fire alarms and fire extinguishers, so just keep an eye out for them, like that one there. So you make your way up here using them as a platform, and then in the trash can there you have a dice, or a die. You grab that and then it will pop the trophy. Now towards the end of the level, you'll find a moon that you can grab, and it has a piece of cheese and a block on it. You want to use the cheese to climb on the block, then grab the cheese while you're on the block and make another ramp to get outside on the roof. And when you're on the roof, there's actually a blueprint towards the back of the roof itself. So make sure you grab that, and then we can move on to chapter 3. And our next collectible is actually just right at the start of chapter 3. When you go out this doorway, you'll make a right and you'll find a dark hallway. Now this is for another constellation. And again, you just want to try to line up your camera right. So as you can see, just follow where I'm going. And it's going to be a coffee mug. So once you've lined it up completely, it should start highlighting on your screen. It's a little bit dodgy finding the right spot, but there you go. And then once you find it, interact with it and make sure you collect that piece. After grabbing that and progressing through the chapter, you'll eventually come to this area with the split box. Now there's a ventilation shaft that's open, and inside that is a chess piece. So use the boxes to get in there and just keep jumping and interacting with it. And then a bit later on, you'll come to this room where you can use these boxes to drag and make a platform. You want to make it to where you can jump up and then see this blueprint that's on the box against the wall. And keep jumping and interacting with it until you get it. And you'll know you've gotten it once it's actually turned white on the blueprint. After that, you'll come to an area where you interact with a box. And once you do, it breaks into a bunch of little boxes. Take one of those boxes with you to this next area. So you'll drop down, make sure you have a box with you, and then what you'll use it for is a platform to get up onto this ledge for another blueprint. So once I shrink the box down, I can go ahead and jump up there. And again, as you can see, there's a fire extinguisher here as well. So as you're getting these collectibles, make sure you're doing the fire alarms and fire extinguishers. So that's another blueprint. Later on, you'll come to this area here after you go underground a little bit and out this vent. Then you want to use the platform or something to boost yourself up off of the soda machine. So that way you can jump to get this chess piece that's on this vent. And as you can see, I managed to grab it, but just keep jumping and grab it. You'll eventually get it. And then we'll be moving on to chapter 4. And at the start, as you can see in that file cabinet, is a constellation. So immediately go to the right at the start of the level and go through the file cabinet. And this one's going to be a wheel of cheese. And you just want to line your camera up and interact with that. And then we can move on to the next collectible. Now the next collectible is going to be a chess piece. And it'll be in that very dark room with the cardboard boxes. And you can use the exit sign as a ramp to get to it. It's not the easiest to get lined up, but once you have it, just make your way over to the chess piece and keep jumping until you can grab it. Now in the next area, you'll be originally in pure darkness, and you'll use this generator to activate the light. And you want to just grab a can of beans to take with you. And then you want to use this wooden beam to climb up and jump onto the shelf to the left. It may take a moment to get used to. But as you can see in the background now on our left is actually a blueprint. So go ahead and set the can of beans down real quick. Interact with the blueprint. And then we can move on to getting our chest piece. You can use the trolley there to jump over, and then you can make the can of beans a bit bigger and then jump over the gap and then go on the other side. Now you want to use the beans on the shelf or down on the floor first and then get yourself up onto the shelf. You can shrink it down if you need to and then put them on the shelf. It may take a little bit of time as well. You definitely don't want it that big. I'm not sure what was going through my brain. So once you've shrunk it down quite a bit, you can jump out the window and you can step on this invisible ground or whatever you want to call it and then grab that chest piece. After that, we are on to chapter 5. Now you'll come to this area with a fake sky, and as you can see above that is a chest piece. Now what we need to do is grab the alarm clocks that clone themselves and make a giant staircase or platform to get to that chest piece. May take you a few tries. You can even just spam a bunch of alarm clocks. I mean, that's sort of what I did, as you can see here. So eventually I've made a tower of them and climbed my way up, and then I grabbed this chest piece. Now a quick side trophy we can grab as we're going through is called Son of Man. And you just want to keep cloning the apple while you're near it until it goes on your head. And once it does that, it'll pop the trophy. Nice easy one you can get out as you're going through the game. Next up, we have another chest piece. This is in the room with the red apple that you use to activate the platform. As you make your way down this hall, you're going to see a chair, and then the doorway you can jump yourself up to, and then the vent. And on the vent itself is going to be our next chest piece. That one's a nice easy one to grab. You don't need to really mess around with anything. And then we can grab our constellation. It'll be next to this machine that spits out soda machines. So it's a soda machine that spits out more soda machines. And inside this room is our next constellation. It's just the back of the soda machine. And it is actually going to be a soda machine. So interact with that. Make sure you grab that before we move on to chapter 6. So we only have 2 chapters left because there's no collectibles in chapter 9. So a nice quick one as well. It doesn't have too many collectibles. Now in chapter 6, you'll come across this theater right at the start, and behind the door is our constellation room. This chapter only has 5 collectibles, so again, nice, quick, and easy. And this one is going to be a chair. Next up, we're going to get another blueprint, and it's when you jump through a window to get into this room, and on top of the boxes is going to be a blueprint. So interact with that, and then before you leave the area, there's going to be a chest piece on this small wooden frame, and you'll see the icon of the hand, meaning you can grab it. After that, you'll be in a pool area with an inflatable bounce house, and you want to use that as a platform to get up to the next blueprint, which is directly behind you. So take it out of the pool area, bring it over here, use it as a platform, and then grab yourself another blueprint. Now our last collectible for chapter 6 is another blueprint, and it's when you're going through the keyhole using these doors. You want to get up onto this box and then try and grab the other doorway from the keyhole, and then use that on the, I believe it's a timestamp for clocking in. And then you can go through that doorway, and on the actual timestamp machine is a giant blueprint. So interact with that. And that'll be our last one for chapter 6. Now on to chapter 7, you'll be in a room where you're sideways, and you want to use this door that is on the side that falls down as a giant ramp. It takes a little bit to make it that big and set it up properly, but once you have, you can make your way up it as a ramp and then jump into the room where the door fell from. And as you can see, there's a fire extinguisher in here as well, but there's also a chest piece in the window. Now after that, we're going to grab another blueprint, and you'll be in this room here with the running water, and there'll be a die here that you can jump off of and use as a platform to get up to this scaffold with the blueprint. So do that and make sure you grab that, and then we can move on to another chest piece. Now this is with the yellow knight that you use to get through this doorway. You want to put him up on the pipes on a slant or a lean, and then use this light to get up onto the vent. And then you'll use the knight to climb up and grab the chest piece that's hanging from the lamp fixture. After grabbing that one, then we can head to our next collectible of the chapter, which is a blueprint. You'll be in this room here with a solo die just chilling on the ground, and down this hallway we will find our blueprint. So we only have 2 more collectibles left of chapter 7, then we can go on to the final chapter with collectibles. You'll be in this white room here with another die on the ground, and actually right here, this white part you can fall into, and it's sort of like a staircase that leads down into another constellation. Once you've lined it up, you will find the light projector is what it is. And then you can jump to our last collectible of the chapter, which is another blueprint. So this blueprint is in this area here with the studio that pops up. You can use the tank here to jump onto the green box and then onto the roof of this actual fixture. And then you can grab yourself another blueprint. Then we'll head to chapter 8, our last chapter. And what you want to do is, after going through the portal, drop that little building onto its platform it was originally on. And if you go to the back building here to our right, it'll be a bar or a restaurant. And you can go to the bar counter over here, climb up on top of it, and then make your way over to that sink by jumping across. And then up on the top shelf, instead of a can of soda, there will be a chest piece hidden in between. Now, using that same building we just used to get to this area, we're actually going to put it in the dropout area of the soda machine in that room. Once you've done that, when you go through the door to your left, you'll be inside the soda machine slot. And inside there, to the top left, will be another chest piece. After that, we can move on to our third collectible of the chapter, which is another blueprint. And once you get to this area here, we're just going to jump onto the roof by using the side fixture and the box, and then you can find the blueprint just on top. We have another blueprint, and once you get to this white room here, if you make your way around the window and to the back of the door you just came out of, the blueprint's just right there on the ground. Nice and easy one. And then we will get another blueprint. This is actually our last blueprint. You'll exit this door and be in this sort of snowy mountain area, and on the right side behind this rock or this hill is our last and final blueprint. That'll reward you a nice gold trophy. And then we can grab our last constellation as well. As you go further in the snowy mountain area, there's that doorway there, and then to the right of it you'll see this little ramp. That's actually going to be a doorway into the constellation room. So this one will be our last one, which will reward another gold trophy. And then from that door we used as a reference point to get to this room, you want to head back that way for our final collectible. And in that room there is actually chest pieces on the table in there. And before going in there, you just want to grab them and bring them out here in the snowy mountain, because we're going to use them as a platform. So we'll make our way all the way around the left side of the mountain and then left again, and you'll see I already have them set up here for you. And I have them set up as a platform to make my way up to the top of the mountain. Make your way up over here and around the back, and just keep following the pretty linear path. Make your way all the way around the back. You can see a red piece on that mountain over to the left now. And just to give you a view, this is where we were at, where that last blueprint was as well. as you can see, and then you'll find a ledge in the back that has the remainder of the chess piece. You just want to try and line this up. It may take a second, but once you line it up and grab it, that'll be your final chess piece and another gold trophy for you. Now after that, and after you've beaten the game, on the main menu there's going to be an exit sign option on the very bottom, and this will be another easy trophy for you to get. So you'll make your way over here behind the sky wall, and then you'll find a hidden trophy that you can pick up, and once you interact with it, you will get the polite recognition trophy. Okay, so after that, you can chapter select to any level you want, but we'll go to chapter 2. Now, in chapter 2, we're going for a trophy called Kasparov, and that's for making the final move. Now, you can only go for this trophy after grabbing all the chess pieces, which if you followed my guide, that'll be easy. You'll find a computer screen in the reception desk. Go ahead and interact with that, and you'll be brought to this room here. Now, you'll see a pawn next to the king. Take the red pawn and go ahead and just move it, and then take the blue rook and move it next to the king, the red king. And that is checkmate. Now that's the end of the guide, so I do want to thank you guys for watching. If you are one of my real ones who made it to the end, leave a comment below saying, perception is reality. I'll catch you guys in the next one.